Thanks for listening to the first episode of DCSD Notebook from Douglas County School District, the top-scoring public school district in the Denver, Colorado area. The idea behind this podcast is to let you listen in on extended conversations and get to know our educators, leaders, and students. I'm your host, Jason Hackett, Director of Communications for DCSD, and if you live in Douglas County, you already know this is a great place to live. By listening to DCSD Notebook, I hope you'll also learn why so many of us think our schools are among the best places for students to develop their talents and learn the skills they'll need to build a bright future. So let's get right into this first episode. We're here with Erin Kane, the Superintendent of Douglas County School District. Thank you so much for taking the time to help us kick off this new DCSD Notebook podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. As we're recording this, it's a couple of weeks before the start of the school year, and I can't imagine how full your calendar is, so thank you very much for taking the time.
Oh, of course. We are so excited to start the new school year. You know, the most important thing in the education world is welcoming our children, because that's why we're here. So we're really excited to welcome our kids back.
Excellent. Excellent. So just to introduce the podcast to our listeners, the idea is pretty simple. We're going to do everything we can to help highlight the great work being done to educate over 61,000 students in Douglas County School District. With a district this big, there's a lot of topics that we'll be able to cover. The main thing that I want to kick these off with is just set the tone and help people get to know you as a person a little bit before we get into like the real heavy duty meat of the conversation, right? So what's something that people might be surprised that you kind of geek out about?
That I geek out about. I love science fiction. So in my family, we have the Star Wars versus Star Trek conversation all the time. I grew up with a mom who would not watch soap operas, but instead wanted to watch Star Trek. So big love of science fiction, so that might surprise people. I'm also an avid scuba diver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my whole family, we love it.
See, that's not something you really think about in Colorado that much, our landlocked state, right?
Yes, actually, Colorado, I think, is one of the highest per capita scuba divers in the entire country. Go figure.
Really?
Yeah. No water, but here we are.
Yeah. So is there anywhere around here that you dive, or you do have to go? Okay.
We definitely have to travel to go dive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although my kids did get certified in the Aurora Reservoir, and we warned them that they would very much hate it, and they did, until you go to the crystal clear waters of the Caribbean, and then suddenly they're like, this is the best thing ever.
Oh, I'm sure. Seeing all the life under the surface and everything.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Nice and calm.
Yes. Yeah, I'll have to ask you about the Star Wars and Star Trek some other time, but I mean, we could really divert.
So much to unpack there,
Exactly,
I'm sure.
Exactly. So do you have a preferred? I'll just stop with that. Preferred Star Wars or Star Trek?
I don't. I love them both.
Great. Okay. Cool.
It's like asking if I have a favorite child. That's not a thing.
No, you can't do that. Exactly. Exactly. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. That's interesting. And now, as people listen to this, they'll be walking up and asking you about Obi-Wan Kenobi and what are your thoughts about the Jedi knighthood and whatever, or the Kobayashi Maru or
it's not,
Star. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Please don't.
But the fact that I know what that means is a little frightening.
And I think really cool. So there's going to be some nerds out there that wow, Superintendent Kane is one of us.
Yeah. Well, my first career was in engineering, so there's that.
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. It's kind of comes with the territory, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for that. That helps kind of kick us off a little bit. Now we'll get into the actual reason we're here. First of all, two-part question. What is exciting about starting a new school year? And then I'll ask about what specifically excites you about this school year in Douglas County School District.
All right. Well, a new school year, as I said, it's just welcoming our kids back and our staff back. You know, education is one of the only fields where you literally get a do-over every single year. You get to start fresh, have that amazing energy. Our teachers and staff have such positive energy at the beginning of the year, and our families and our kids, and everyone's excited and fresh and ready to learn. And it's just an amazing feeling. So I love the feeling of a new school year and the excitement of a new school year. And most importantly, welcoming back our kids, because they are why we are here.
It's so fun to see that first day. Everybody's excited and just swarming toward all the buildings.
Oh, yes. Back to school nights, all the things. Love it all so much.
It's the best. So then, second part of the question, what about 2025-26 in DCSD has you excited about getting rolling here?
Actually, a lot of things. So I'll start with our strategic plan. So we will be rolling out our new strategic plan this fall. And I'm just so excited about where that process has led us and the future for our kids, because we're really working on how we can make sure that our kids are not just adapting to the changing world, but are actually leading the way. They need to lead the change. And we in education, we need to prepare them for that. And we have some amazing things coming through the strategic plan that we'll be doing to do just that.
How does something like that get rolled out? Because I know we worked on it over the course of last year. What are the steps for getting that going and helping to, I guess, inform the rest? Well, I'm in the communications department, so there's a part of that we get to help with that. I should know about that. Exactly. For everybody else that's listening, how does a rollout like that work?
Sure. Well, first of all, I'd like to talk about kind of how the process worked. A strategic plan always has to start with our community, right? Because the future of our kids is based on what our community needs. And so we looked at thousands and thousands of survey results. We talked to hundreds of people in face-to-face focus groups from the parent community, the business community, our staff, our students, various community members, elected officials. We tried to get a swath of as many different voices as we possibly could in talking about the future of our district and what we want for our kids. So we kind of went through that whole process. And now we've gone through a process of narrowing it down to strategic themes that we're now putting into an actual action plan. So when that is fully fleshed out, which it's really close, then we will have a big dramatic rollout. I mean, we'll try to make sure that we do some exciting things to communicate the plan to our staff, our students, and our families and our community so that we can all kind of be marching in the same direction. The really nice thing is all of the survey results and the focus groups, our community is truly on the same page as far as what they want for our kids in order to prepare them for the future. And that is really, really exciting. So whether they're parents or in the business community or our staff or even the students themselves, they see what needs to happen in order to ensure that our kids have the brightest future possible.
That's great, because there's so many different avenues that people could have taken with all of this.
For sure.
But to have partnership among parents, the schools, the community, we all are kind of identified through that process.
Yeah, our priorities.
That's great.
For sure. And, I think partnership is really what it's all about. What makes our kids successful is that incredible trust and partnership between our families, our teachers, our schools, our business leaders, and our community.
Having that, can't think of another better word than synergy, the idea that, parents have something they want to see happen with their kids. I want my kids to grow and fulfill all their potential and figure out what they want to do with their lives. The kids, of course, they want to do that, but then the community is also like, we have needs to fill. We need a workforce that's equipped and ready to go.
Absolutely. Our community is incredibly invested in our kids and in our education system, whether they're, as you said, community business leaders who need to have a pipeline for their industry, whether there are senior citizens that are concerned about future generations, or any of our citizens who are concerned about their home values. Education just weaves into so much in our society, and we are absolutely shaping the future by making sure that our kids are completely prepared in partnership with our families. So important.
That's great. You mentioned strategic plan being one thing you're excited about. What are some of the other ones? I don't want to, because I could keep asking about all this and we'd be here all day.
Sure. Well, actually, most of it really does stem from the strategic plan. We're super excited that we're continuing our bond work. So as you may recall, our bond passed in 2024. So grateful to our taxpayers. Even though we passed a bond in 2024, our community's tax rate for schools still went down, which is really amazing. So our taxpayers are getting an incredible return for their investment. In fact, we're the top performing school district in the metro area, and we have one of the very lowest tax rates for public education in the metro area. Really proud of that. But the bond work is ongoing, so we're doing improvements to all 93 of our schools. Really necessary improvements, not necessarily super visible. It's hard to see the new HVAC unit or the boiler or the roof, but we're doing plenty of things that are very visible as well. We are investing in 2 new schools, first time that we have built new schools in Douglas County since 2010. So we are so excited about doing that and getting those new schools underway. Both of them will be opening in 27-28. We are making significant improvements to the schools that we recently consolidated so that our newly paired community can go into a really great school and have a fantastic experience. We're really excited about the investments that we're making in career and technical education. Even though we've made huge progress over the last couple of years in career and technical education, we now offer 76 different pathways for our students. Even with the massive amount of offerings we have, we still have wait lists. So we're really excited to be expanding our legacy campus to include more of the trades, so construction, plumbing, HVAC, electrical vehicle and hybrid vehicle maintenance, which I think is really exciting. Industry very much needs workers who are trained in EV maintenance as well as kind of traditional automotive. We are also expanding cosmetology to be on the east side of I-25 at Douglas County High School, automotive to be available on the west side of I-25 at Highlands Ranch High School. So we're just very excited about all of these investments that we're making in the future of our community, and most importantly, for the betterment of the future of our kids.
There's so much about the CTE stuff that is just fascinating to me. And I mean,
it is.
You probably, like me, and like I'm a Gen Xer talking to my kids that are borderline millennial, Gen Z. Same thing, right?
Yep.
That it's like, oh, I wish we had this.
Oh, I definitely wish, that my kids had had access to the broad range of CTE offerings that we have today, and the micro-credentialing that we have really been leading the way on here in Douglas County. We could spend an entire podcast on our career and technical education offerings, as well as kind of the impact that has on our students' lives in the future, and how it gives them such a significant leg up if they go to college, but also prepares them and credentials them to jump directly into industry. It's so exciting, and it just widens the swath of possibilities that our kids have.
Well, and what's really great about it is it gives us more options because there are different types of learners.
And it also, one of the themes of our strategic plan, or kind of the overarching theme, will be this idea of hope and optimism. So if you think about career and technical education, if kids find something at school that they really connect with, whether that's athletics, performing arts, or maybe it's welding, or whatever it is that they're really excited about, the research shows that if a student is really excited about something in school, we see improved outcomes academically as well as in attendance, improved graduation rates. Just all kinds of amazing outcomes come when we're able to channel into an individual student's passion and excitement. And I really think that's what career and technical education does. It helps our kids envision their future. It helps them see themselves in 5 years or 10 years, so they do have that sense of hope and optimism for the future, instead of being so caught up with whatever thing is right in front of them and they just can't get past it. So I think that the outcomes of finding that passion for all of our students go far beyond career success, and really channel into well-being and mental health and all of the amazing things. I think the outcomes are going to be great.
Literally a reason to get out of bed in the morning.
Literally a reason to get out of bed in the morning, 100%.
And thinking about, you mentioned graduation rate. We're at a 15-year high in the district last year with 92.2%.
Yes.
That's really high, but we could get it higher this way.
You can always get it higher. 100% is always the goal.
Right.
We do have the highest graduation rate in the state of larger districts. There are some rural districts where all 10 kids graduated. So, they got 100%.
Yeah.
But we're really proud of that graduation rate. And I really do attribute part of that drastic increase in graduation rate for us 2, channeling into kids' passions through career and technical education, as well as athletics, the arts. All of those things really matter as part of our kids' education, and I don't ever want to lose sight of all of those important things.
Absolutely. So another piece of looking at the future and probably the strategic plan, artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And where our world is going. And it opens up so many possibilities. It also opens up some worries for people.
Absolutely.
Like if somebody has been told you should get into coding and now all of a sudden AI can handle a lot of the coding, it's okay, but how do I go forward? Because it's not like it's fully going to replace that,
and
right?
You leverage it. As someone with in my past life, having a CS degree, I've actually looked at a lot of specifically the coding features and changes. They call it vibe coding, when you're sort of coding side by side with the AI. It's fascinating. But as far as AI in general, I put AI into 3 buckets. Leveraging AI in order to save teacher and staff time. So there's so much where AI can actually be a personal assistant to any of us to help save us time. The more time that we can save teachers, the more time they have to really execute on their craft, which is teaching our kids. So that's kind of bucket number 1. AI has endless possibilities in terms of helping us create rigorous lesson plans, helping us personalize learning for each individual student. So many things that will save our teachers' time. Bucket number 2 is using AI, leveraging AI to help kids learn. So that would be kind of some of the tutoring aspects of AI. It's opening up so many doors for kids that have traditionally been underserved for all kinds of difficulties. So take our multi-language learners, for example. They can be doing a problem in English and having AI tutor them to help them through that problem in their native language. So they're getting kind of that English immersion as well as the understanding, helping them really have the understanding so that they don't have the language barrier to actual learning. So that's kind of the second bucket, this idea of personalized learning and tutoring kids and helping them get better at everything from writing to mathematics to you name it. Bucket number 3 is about actually teaching our kids the ethical, responsible use of artificial intelligence. So how they can actually leverage it, because they are going to have to take those skills into the world they're walking into. They need to be experts in how to leverage artificial intelligence and how to understand the limitations of artificial intelligence. And that takes a significant amount of learning and really thoughtful preparation and lesson planning on the part of our educators to really help our kids see that they have to go deeper than the surface. And how do we make sure that they're still doing really deep thinking while leveraging the best of what the world has to offer? So to me, this is the most exciting time to be in education, because I think we can all bring our game up a level in terms of our kids really having that deep critical thinking, as well as practicing those communication skills, collaboration skills, all of the things that our employers are looking for and that our parents are looking for the future of our kids.
I love hearing about that as it's, in the 3 buckets that you explained there, because I feel like you can listen to some folks that are very optimistic about it, and some folks that are pessimistic about it. Oh, it's going to take all of our jobs away and things like that.
Sure.
But you've got like this way of looking at it that says, no, it's about leveraging it and still respecting the humans that can be helped by it and that can take things further by it. I don't think I've heard it explained quite that way.
Yeah,
before.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big believer that artificial intelligence will not replace humans, but humans that can leverage artificial intelligence will replace humans who cannot. I think that's a really, really important distinction. We have to lean in. We have to help our kids safely and responsibly and ethically leverage this technology so they can go out in the world and be ahead. Hiding from it or banning it, those are not the right answers. We just have to dive in and help them learn the ethics that go with it, the critical thinking and critical analysis that go with it, and making sure that we're really helping them be prepared to use it well.
Something I was thinking about the other day, kind of in preparation for this, was there's no metaphor for this. There's no comparable sea change in education back when I was in school, you can't use calculators during your algebra test, that kind of thing. You need to learn how to do the math on your own.
Sure.
This is not like that. And then thinking about when the internet came along and where you can't use the internet to help you do all your research and just cut and paste from Wikipedia or something like that. This is still, AI is orders of magnitude more than either of those.
It is definitely next level, but I do think it is analogous to, say, a graphing calculator.
Okay.
Right? Because we applied mathematics degree. When I was growing up, the graphing calculator was really pretty new technology. And the fear was that we would no longer learn how to properly graph algebraic equations. Like we would miss out on this entire real world piece because we could just type the equation into a graphing calculator and have it pop out a graph. But a whole component of the graphing piece from a numeracy lens is when you learn how to graph, you better understand what the algebraic equation is expressing. So if you take that to artificial intelligence, the fear, as it was with a graphing calculator, is something like a student will no longer need to learn to write because the artificial intelligence will just write for them. But like with graphing, it's still incredibly valuable and essential for our kids to learn the writing skills from scratch, just like it was essential for me to learn to graph algebraic equations, right? The kids need to learn to write from scratch. They need to go through that writing process and the productive struggle that goes with it. And they have this amazing tool that they can use to refine, to do things quickly, to learn from, to have more efficient use of their time. So I believe that this is a both a yes and. It doesn't need to be an either or. It's a yes and. But it's very exciting because it really will save so much time. And because it saves so much time, I think it also allows us to think deeper. The graphing calculator, we no longer stumbled over graphing. So instead, we were able to move on to higher level mathematical thinking. Likewise, our kids will be able to move on to higher level thinking. And it's our job as educators to make sure that we're guiding them through that process so that when they leave, their problem solving skills are second to none because there will always be problems facing our world.
Exactly. And now they'll be able to spend more time applying what they are learning to those big, new, interesting problems.
Absolutely.
Like, how are you going to build that new building? Well, you've learned the math behind it and the physics and right.
Sure. And that again, that critical analysis of whatever output there is. And really, there will never be a lack of problems facing our world. And the students that are in our education system today, they are the solution. They will find the solutions. We just need to arm them with everything we possibly can to help them be in a position to do that.
See, that's why I'm glad we got to have this conversation with you to get that understanding and get a good metaphor for this and have a way to process this. And the 3 buckets and the graphing calculator is incredibly helpful for me, just thinking about that. So thank you.
It's an exciting topic.
It really is. And it kind of leads into the last thing I want to ask about is your leadership in education with technology and the Google GSV fellowship that you are involved in for this upcoming school year.
Yes.
I'll put the link in the show notes for this that people can check out what this is. But listeners, take a look at that website and see all the heavy hitters that are involved in this. And your superintendent for DCSD is also one of those heavy hitters that is involved in this.
Thank you. Yes, I was very excited to be invited to join the Google Fellowship for 2025. So the Google GSV Fellowship is a small number of people, I want to say 15, that work together in a collaborative fashion in order to solve big problems. So we all kind of come in with a problem of practice or something that we really want to tackle. And we work alongside the professionals from Google to help us tackle something really big. So all of us are sort of working through what we want to tackle, what we think we can get our arms around to be able to make a real difference for kids in our districts. It's an amazing group of people. As you said, I definitely feel humbled by the amazing leaders that are part of the Google Fellowship. I'm really excited to have been accepted to be part of it. We're just getting started, so I would love to be able to tell you more in about 6 months or so, as I'm well on the way of working through a problem of practice. But just what a great opportunity for Douglas County School District to kind of have attention elevated at that level. And truly, I am also really proud to represent Douglas County School District. We are so far ahead of the rest of the country in so many ways. And it's just, I love going to other places and talking about the great work that we're doing here in Douglas County School District. And there are always people who are taking notes and wanting to find a way to walk in our footsteps. And that makes me really happy for our kids and for our district.
And what we're going to see happen, I'm sure, from this collaboration is tangible benefits to the school district.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
That's great to see. To your point, I remember hearing very early in the strategic plan process last year, the folks that came in to help us with that were talking very specifically, and they have visibility all across the country.
Yes.
And they were speaking very highly of our district, that so many other people are looking to us as one of the leaders and trailblazers in implementing technology and career and technical education and so many different things. So
yes, very, very proud to represent Douglas County School District. We are doing so many exciting things for our kids in our district, all while never taking our eyes off the ball of academic excellence, right? We are making sure that our kids have those reading and numeracy skills that are so essential in order to jump into all of these other amazing areas.
yeah, I mean, starting at preschool and going all through our elementary schools, secondary schools. Yeah, I work for the school district, and this may sound rah-rah, but I have been other places, and I'm sure you have too, and seen so many other things. This is an amazing school district with a lot of things going well for it and so much more potential. So this is exciting.
Absolutely. And we always have our challenges too. There are always problems to solve, right?
Exactly.
But I'm very blessed to have an incredible team, and we love solving problems. So we're in the right place.
That's right. We got it. All right. Superintendent Erin Kane, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, and we will hopefully have you back soon to talk about more of these amazing things going on. So
terrific. Thank you. And I hope everyone has a safe and happy start to a wonderful school year.
Thanks for listening to DCSD Notebook from Douglas County School District, which serves more than 60,000 students, making it the third largest public school district in Colorado. With 92 schools, including neighborhood schools, charter options, and homeschool support, DCSD is a welcoming home for every style of learner. To find out more, visit dcsdk12.org. And make sure to hit the follow button in your favorite podcast app so you can get every new episode, as well as Parent University once a month, where we hear from experts within the district and from the larger community talking about timely, relevant issues that parents face in our complex world. We're here to help you, so if you have a question and can't find the answer on our website, email communications@dcsdk12.org and we'll help point you in the right direction.